So this is a poem called Ozymandias by Percy Shelley. Percy Shelley was a romantic poet, which means that he used to write poems about nature and about the power of nature. He believed that nature was much better than urban cities and people that lived in towns. And he felt that it should be something that should be honoured and written about with power. Ozymandias was a pharaoh in Egypt, and this is what he looked like according to the people of the time. He was a very, very powerful leader who had lots of wars and led his people into lots of conflicts. Now, at the time that Percy Shelley lived, this man was king. He was George III, who also had lots and lots of wars. So there is some suggestion that the poem about Ozymandias is actually about George III. So this poem is probably dealing with a lot of issues to do with power and nature, because those are things that matter to Percy Shelley. So if we go through what the poem is about, before we go any further, this poem is about a man who Percy Shelley met from an antique land being a place of classical history. So we're going to assume that it's Egypt. And he said that he saw two vast and trunkless legs of stone standing in the desert. So he saw a statue that was just two legs, and next to it was a half-sunk and shattered visage, which is just a posh word for face. So in the middle of the desert, there was this great big statue that had fallen apart and crumbled. There was a sculptor who had made this statue, and the statue itself had survived, and the message along the side of the statue survived as well. The message talked about Ozymandias being the king of kings, the most powerful of all the kings. But he told all the other people to look on his works and despair. So look at all the great things that he's achieved and feel powerless. You feel useless in comparison to my great power. But then around the statue, there was absolutely nothing. The civilization, the kingdom that Ozymandias had put together had completely disappeared, had gone away. So actually, if you think about Percy Shelley's viewpoint, nature and art had survived much longer than this powerful king. All these powerful things that people do come to an end. So if we look at the poem itself, we can see that the way that it describes the statue is really negative. There is the words sunk, shattered, frown, wrinkled, sneer. So we've got these adjectives that are describing it in really negative terms. Clearly, Percy Shelley does not think very much of people who are in power, people who have that kind of control. He's also done a really nice bit of alliteration here, cold command. These are harsh sounding words that give a sense of aggression. So it makes Ozymandias seem like a really unpleasant king. Then we've kind of got a bit of a joke on Ozymandias happening, because this sculptor read the passions of the king well, read his emotions well, and mocked him in his statue. Now, mocked has two meanings. The word mocked can mean to make up, so to create, which is what he did with his statue. But it also can mean to ridicule, to laugh at. So it seems that by creating this frown and this wrinkled lip, the sculptor is having a bit of a joke at Ozymandias. He's also having a bit of a joke about the fact that the sculptor's work is the thing that has survived long after all of Ozymandias' power. Another bit that's really useful is this bit in the end, where it starts to talk about the decay and how this civilization that Ozymandias put together has disappeared. So using the words of decay and these ideas of stretching far away, has this idea of crumbling and disappearing. And the final thing that might be useful to comment on is this alliteration here of boundless and bare. The boundless and bare sounds like it's echoing, the echoing B sound, because there's just nothing left in this civilization that Ozymandias put together. Good luck in the exam, guys.